Anything you've said since then? There's been a suggestion that you're Benami owner of an IPL team, but that was the last one, right?
I wish I could afford to be Benami owner of an IPL team. No, the truth is that I'm very proud as a Kerala elected representative and having helped steer some affluent investors towards my own state, because I think that Kerala is poised for takeoff when it comes to cricket. I'm very glad that they saw a business opportunity there, and I'll only take credit for pointing out the positives of Kerala to them. But no, I've basically got out of the soundbite game, Vir, and it's in a sense a pity, because it's a way of educating our public on these issues. But if instead of educating the public, you're simply ending up being, for somebody who has never, as I said, been a controversialist, to have suddenly been dubbed one in my first 9 months of Indian politics is not a happy situation for me, because I pride myself on my judgment and the words I use and choose and so on. And so I would rather, not, shall we say, give opportunities to others to distort what I have to say. A reflective conversation I'm happy to do. I make speeches all the time, not only scripted ones. I make speeches on substantive issues which don't get reported. I've made, in the last few months, rather important policy statements on India's relations with Africa, on India's relations with the Gulf, on the whole question of a maritime strategy in the Indian Ocean and the Arabian Sea. 2 lines have not been reported in any major publication, which is ironic, because, I'm trying, I'm not seeking credit for it, but I have been trying to do a great deal to initiate and revive our relations with places like Africa and Latin America. I was the first ever Indian minister to set foot in Haiti after the earthquake. None of this has got any attention whatsoever. And if you compare it to the amount of attention paid to one word taken out of context, so my feeling is, all right, if they're not interested in my real work, why should I give them an opportunity to be interested in what is not relevant to my work?
Looking back, if you look at the controversies, some of it has to do with language.
Yeah.
Cattle clause, interlocutor. So has there been a problem understanding the vocabulary of Indian politics? Has it to do with having lived away and outside of Indian politics for so long?
Possibly. I mean, I'm not denying that. But, there are elements in our society who rather revel in bringing people down as well. I think that the very thing that you said, that I started off with this very positive welcome and a good press for the first 2 or 3 months, definitely got some people saying, let's bring him down a peg or two, and that's part of our system, it's part of our culture.
Do you think jealousy had some role in it?
I don't want to use a word like that, but I'm just saying that I have been brought down a peg or two, and I'm not going to make any bones about it.
But the Twitter thing annoys a lot of people.
Well, look, as I said to, I think it was you, but in any case I've said it before, the truth is that when any thought you express can reach now almost 7 lakh people, yeah. Wouldn't any politician kill for an audience like that? And particularly when it's an interactive relationship. I mean, for example, it is an Akashvani that you can broadcast your thoughts. The reason people come and read you're not only broadcasting press releases, you're also talking about cricket and movies and food and travels and so on, but you're also giving subtle and not so subtle messages about Indian foreign policy. So you do all of that, and that's how you get a readership. And the result is that I now have an audience that is larger than any audience I will ever attract through a speech, or indeed, frankly, perhaps through a television interview.
What about the suggestion that it's all very well to have Twitter, but you shouldn't be tweeting about government policy, as you did with the visas?
There I disagree, because everybody else is doing it. I mean, Kevin Rudd, the Prime Minister of Australia, tweets. Foreign Secretary of Britain, David Miliband, tweets. President Obama tweets, so he doesn't do it himself. He's got staff doing it for him. Secretary of State Clinton tweets. In fact, when she was in Delhi, there were a dozen tweets a day about all her activities and all her meetings. That's the kind of thing that I'm tweeting about. Indeed, I have to say there are a couple of foreign ministers who started tweeting because they knew me and liked the idea. The Foreign Minister of Bahrain publicly has given me credit for his tweeting about Bahrain. And when the Norwegian foreign minister came, the first thing he said to me was, I want a picture of us together so I can put it on my Twitter page. So, we've got all of this thing going. There's a certain
then why do you regret the visa tweet? Because then that should be okay.
No, I only regret the visa tweet because of the nature of our political culture, which is not one, sadly, where public discussion of issues requiring discussion is particularly welcomed. Now, I would love to change that culture, but I can't as an individual start setting the pace. I don't have either the rank or the authority or the background to be doing that, and I think I should have been, in that sense, a little more restrained about putting it on Twitter or indeed even saying it on TV at that point. But to be very honest, I think that when our government comes up with policies that need to be reviewed, I would like to think it's not a bad idea to let the public know we're reviewing it, that we're thinking about it. There must be some way of doing it. Maybe my Twitter feed was not the best way of conveying.
There is a suggestion that some of the stuff is coming from the Congress, various people in the Congress are briefing against you. Have you felt that?
It's possible, though I must say that I've had a very, very good session with the head of the Congress Party's media cell, the ICC cell. Unfortunately, though it had been set up 10 days earlier, it took place a couple of days after the interlocutor remarks. Everyone assumed that, and again, the press reported authoritatively that I'd been summoned for a dressing down. Yeah. Nothing doing. We'd had a very friendly chat on the phone. We'd set up this appointment. I was about to go to Saudi Arabia, so I said, when I come back, we'll get together and chat. It was a very friendly and constructive discussion. Bhujanathan Dwivedi, who's the General Secretary in charge of the Congress media cell. I know the spokespeople, not all of them, but I know 2 or 3 of them rather well for some time as friends. And I don't think that that there is necessarily a widespread desire within the party to silence me or anything like that.
I love the qualifiers, necessarily widespread.
Well, look, there must be some people, because you wouldn't be saying it, Vir, if you haven't heard it yourself. And sure, I've heard similar charges. There are some people in the party who have not been well disposed. But, we're a big tent party, as the Republicans like to call themselves in America. We have all sorts of political views, all sorts of ideological traditions, all sorts of other kinds of interest groups within one party. And I think unanimity within the Congress party on almost any issue would be difficult to find. But we have still been able to make a positive difference for the country. And that's what I think we should continue doing. And if I can make more of an impact by being silent, I'll be happy to be silent.
Shashi, that's a great note to end the show on. Thank you so much. A rare interview from Shashi Tharoor, who's, as he says, turned into a Trappist monk. We'll see you again next week. Goodbye.